morning, hello, how are you guys? Whatever time of day this is that you're watching the video. Guys, join me right now in my bathroom, but I right now am getting ready to head out. Because if you couldn't tell by the title of this video, this is going to be my dad picking my TBR video. Yeah, I don't know why it popped into my head the other day, but I thought, you know what? I'm gonna have my dad pick my TBR because last month was it last month or the month before that? I can't remember. I think it was June. I had Anthony pick my TBR, and I had said previously in that video that I have yet to follow an actual TBR. But that month I did follow and read every book that Anthony picked out. So we're going to change it up and we're going to have my dad pick my TBR. I'm excited for that because my dad is, well, he's my dad and I love him. And he is one of the people that sparked my love of reading. He used to read stories to me when I was younger. And then I guess just kind of always watching him read books made me want to pick up books and read myself. And one of our favorite things to do together is to go to the bookstore and look at all the books and buy books. So I figured I would just have him pick out my books for the month. I'm going to do the same thing that I did in my previous video because I don't have all of the books physically. But I will show you just so that you can, where am I going? Just so you can see. I put them in a plastic baggie so I don't lose them. But let's set you down. You're on my bed right now. So I put all the books that I want to read on these like little post-it card things. And I wrote the synopsis on the back of each card. So the front will say the books. So we've got Hello Stranger, synopsis, Butcher and Blackbird, The Library of Borrowed Hearts. I'm interested to read this book because I read The Lonely Hearts Book Club and I thought that one was cute, so I'm interested to see what this one is about. And then we've got The Summer of Broken Rules, which I actually just bought this book the other day when I went to Target. And then finally, I need to finish this book, so hopefully my dad will pick this one, but we will see. And that is going to be Finley Donovan is Rolling the Dice, the last book. And I don't know why I haven't read it yet. So that is what we've got going on. So I'm going to have my dad look at these, read them, and then probably pick like 3 of them out of this pile. It's only I only put 5 books, so still trying to keep it small to be realistic, but I'll have him pick 3, and then I'm already reading a couple just like the last video. But yeah, so I'm getting myself ready to head out. I've already packed my little bag here. It's gonna have my camera stuff in here, and then I made a little salad for lunch because I'm trying to be healthy. So I'm gonna finish getting myself ready and then we're gonna head on out. Thankfully my dad doesn't live far from me, so I normally walk over to his house because it takes me like maybe 10 minutes to walk over there. Ooh, speaking of which, I need to put on my watch so I can track that. But I'm just gonna briefly put on some eyebrows because I don't have any eyebrows. So I don't look so yikes. Anyways, I will see you guys when I get to my dad's. My dad's now. So like I said to you guys earlier, I was gonna go to my dad's house so he can pick my TBR for the month of August. And I've made it to my dad's. If you couldn't tell already, this is my dad. Hi Dad, what's your name?
Hi there. I'm her dad.
Go.
Alright. Finley Donovan Rolls the Dice by L. Casimano.
Yeah, that's the fourth book in this series. I haven't read that one yet, obviously.
Title is interesting. The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walker.
I just bought that book this weekend.
You did?
I did. I went to Target and I bought that book. Been thinking about that one for a little bit, but
Mary Fox has been going to Martha's Vineyard for the summer. Summer of Broken Rules. Seems like I've heard about that as an issue for some people that can't actually recognize faces for some reason.
Well, it sounds like that's a thing.
Well, out of all the ones I just quickly looked at, the one Hello Stranger by Catherine Center sounds interesting.
Cool.
So I picked that one.
Okay.
It's intriguing. The subject matter is intriguing.
That one is cool.
I think the next one I'm going to select is The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walker.
Yahoo!
Donovan Rolls the Dice by Al Casamano. It sounds like a fun story. I mean, I'm not sure if it would be as interesting for me because my mind has always been captured by not so much crime stories, but action, adventure, things like that. But this sounds at the very least, it sounds interesting, worth looking into. The interesting thing about these picks is, if there was a runner-up pick that you asked me for, I would say Butcher and Blackbird.
Okay.
It sounds like an interesting scenario for some reason.
I've heard good and bad things about that book. Like, I've heard it's a good book, but I'm not very...
What about the author?
I don't know if this is her first... I've never heard of this author before this book series. And the second book is out now, so I should read this first book. But the only thing that I'm a little bit nervous about to read the Butcher and Blackbird is because it's centered around serial killers, basically killing serial killers.
Ooh.
And...
Serial killers killing serial killers.
Did you even read the synopsis, Dad?
No, I'm thinking to myself how bizarre that sounds.
Yeah.
Serial killers killing serial killers.
Yeah, but so that's basically what it centers around, and it's like these two rival murderers that are killing serial killers. Anyways, they end up like teaming up or something like that. And the thing that scares me about it is, I don't know, I think I've heard things that it might be a little bit like graphic, gory-ish.
And you're not into gory and graphic?
Not really, no. I don't want to hear people talking about guts flying everywhere and stuff. But I do want to read the book because I've seen it around a lot and I've heard a lot of people talk about it.
Depending on how the writer presents the scenario, your own imagination can take over and create whatever scene that's supposed to represent. And how gory and how graphic it is up to your own imagination.
Hopefully I read all of these.
Just as an aside, not that this was solicited by Shelby from me, but if this were her brother David's storyline, instead of Butcher and Blackbird, it would be Butcher the Blackbird and make a pie.
Oh my god.
I figured I'd throw that in there.
Oh man. I did share with them earlier, Dad, that we're both big book readers, and I think that's probably where I got my love of reading from, and how we also like to go to Barnes and Nobles together a lot.
Yeah, that's what happens. Well, I should say, this is what happens when you read a lot of books. Saggy, droopy eyes, especially if you're reading in minimal light. Don't read in minimal light. Always use good lighting.
Sure, whatever he just said. But I was gonna ask, do you have any top favorite books that you've read in your life, Dad?
Well, I mean, as you know, after talking with Anthony about some of the books that we both shared an interest in, the books by Eric von Lustbader, The Ninja, and those books regarding...
well, I still need to bring that book over.
There's about, I think, 5 in that series, which involves a character called Nicholas Lanier. And I think there's 2 that are, not 2, they're all focused on a lot of, not necessarily mysticism, but Far East cultural issues that are interwoven in the storyline. All the Eastern, or not so much Eastern, but the Oriental, Asian cultural artifacts that make up so much a part of the lives of the people from countries like Japan or China or Hong Kong. And I, for whatever reason, my mind gravitates towards things like that. Just like the Clive Cussler books, or as my daughter would say, Clive Cussler. Yeah, I absolutely love the Sherlock Holmes series of stories, obviously. The Lord of the Rings.
I've yet to read that series.
I thought you did.
Nope, not yet.
Books in general interest me. I mean, sometimes it's not just the topic. Sometimes it's the author that I became familiar with, and I look forward to whatever the author's next offering is, because I'm automatically assuming it's going to be a good read.
Yep.
You know, whether it turned out to be well crafted or not, but usually certain authors have not disappointed me when it came to, you know, the story, the impact of the story on what scenarios I envisioned in my head from what he painted in the book. It just makes it that much more interesting, because I think Shelby and I discussed a couple of times about how we each go through our books, you know, in terms of how focused we become on the stories, to the point where you can't put the book down until you read almost half the book or something like that. Whereas in my case, I sort of pace myself. I don't know if it's partially because of I won't say it's eye strain. I mean, just basically reading page after page, line after line, becomes somewhat tedious after a while. So it affects how the story impacts you, because you're getting to the point where it's like, okay, go on to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. Unless something extraordinary in the story happens, or something jumps out at you from the story or something like that, to make you go on to the next one, even though you didn't really want to. But I tend to read maybe 2 to maybe 3 chapters at most at a time before I put the book down, and then come back later on and then do another 2 or 3 chapters. Where I think you said you can read almost a whole book, which is...
Yeah, that's happened a few times actually.
I don't think I've ever read a whole book, and you know, I'm talking about something that's at least 200 or more pages.
I've read a couple books in one sitting.
That you could not put down.
Well, I mean, when I say one sitting, I mean like in a day. Like, I've obviously gotten up to like eat or drink something or whatever, but
Right.
like I've finished it in that same day that I started the book. Well, that is the end of the video. Thanks, Dad.
No problem. I thought that was kind of fun. I mean, I felt awkward doing it because I'm thinking, number one, I'm thinking I must look like some kind of dead piece of ground beef or something like that.
Nah.
I had no enthusiasm in my voice.
Don't think about all
And
that.
I was very conscious of what I must look like to the people who are going to look at this. And next time I'm thinking about wearing a mask, the next time I do this.
No. No.